A very good day to all of you. Welcome to day 35 of the Daily Answer Writing Initiative. This is Vilasni from Officers IAS Academy, and let us straight away take a look into today's question. What are nature-based solutions? How do they aid in urban water management? So here the question has two parts, and it is important to address both the parts properly. But before getting into the solution, let us first understand what the concept of nature-based solution actually is. So NBS in short for nature-based solutions in simple terms means for today's pressing issues like pollution and climate change, rather than being dependent on man-made technical interventions, why not use nature and its resources as solutions to address these issues? So let us understand this better with the help of an example. So now in the case of coastal cities, some of the pressing issues could be that of coastal erosion and say maybe even saltwater intrusion. So now over here, we can resort to man-made solutions such as dikes. Dikes are concrete structures. They can also help in preventing issues like coastal erosion from taking place, but rather we can also make use of an effective nature-based solution in the form of mangroves. So here, afforestation of mangroves can not only serve as breakwaters to the storm, but also mangroves can help in addressing the issue of coastal erosion. Like this, there are many nature-based solutions around us, and these nature-based solutions can help in mitigating the effects of pollution and climate change. So now, since the demand of the question is how do they aid in urban water management, we need to quote and substantiate this answer with examples or even say case studies to justify how nature-based solutions actually aids in urban water management. So now let us consider a few examples. Heard of green roofs? So now if you see in many cities, fine, one of the biggest problems that we face is urban heat island effect. So because many concrete materials, etc., are being used to build houses and industries, and because there is a large amount of pollution which is taking place in this area, the overall temperatures are on the rise. So now through urban green roofs, fine, it is possible to mitigate the effects of urban heat island effect. Also, these structures can help in absorbing rainwater. Fine, this is one. Second is we can also consider Miyawaki forests. So now in an urban setup, it is possible to create dense a forest-like setup where plantations can be cultivated. Here, native plant species are chosen, and this can also help in aiding water conservation significantly. There is also one more interesting water management strategy that countries like China have taken into consideration. This is called as spawn city. So now the idea of a spawn city is to make effective use of existing wetlands, green parks, reservoirs, etc., where if at all there is a flood or if at all there is excessive rain, this water can be collected efficiently and stored and can be used at times when there is a contingency. So this concept of a spawn city is also very useful in using nature-based solutions in an effective manner. There is also one interesting type of nature-based solution, which is urban vegetated canopies. So countries like Spain, because of increasing pollution caused by industries and because the overall temperatures are on the rise, they have made use of this interesting strategy called as urban vegetated canopies. Here, what they are planning on doing is that throughout existing urban spaces, they are going to cultivate different types of plants on roofs in the form of green walls, etc. So through this idea, they aim at regulating a microclimate which is very greener, which also can improve the air quality, which can also help in absorbing water better. So now through these ways, issues like pollution and climate change can also be better addressed. So these are some examples of nature-based solutions which can aid in urban water management. So now let us take a look at the key. So now in the key also there are some points which you can add. So there is a mention of green roofs. There is a mention of permeable pavements. At the same time, how these features can help in filtering rainwater, reducing runoff. We can quote wetlands. Wetlands is effective nature-based solutions. Fine. At the same time, we can also talk about afforestation or even reforestation in general, which can help in improving the overall soil health and can also help in absorbing water better. So all these are certain points that you can incorporate in your answer. So ideally, this is what your answers should have. So the first part, which is what are nature-based solutions, you should have addressed that well. As well as for the second part of the question, you should substantiate it with different types of nature-based solutions in relation to urban water management. So now let us take a look at the best answers for the day. So the first answer is by Kritika. So Kritika, you have written very good points. You have mentioned about green infrastructure. You have mentioned about wetlands. You have also given some examples. So here writing examples is justified, but at the same time it is important to make the linkages evident. So here you need to justify exactly what example that you write, how it is conveying the essence of what is required. So please make sure that whatever examples you write, you are justifying that well enough to the demand of the answer. So that is also important. You have also mentioned about how sponge cities have helped in regulating microclimate, which is very much appreciated. You have mentioned about how mangroves, you've also mentioned about Mishti initiative, which is really good. So apart from that, your conclusion is also very nice. You have mentioned about the life movement, which is again very much appreciated. So moving on, there is one very nice answer written by Rajalakshmi. So here Rajalakshmi has given a mention about composite water management index, which is also appreciated. You have mentioned some significant points like green infrastructure, wetlands restoration, permeable surfaces. One good thing over here is that you have underlined key terms, which is again very much appreciated. So apart from that, you have also mentioned replantations and all of that. But here I would just suggest that you can give examples to show, justify your points in a much more better manner. But overall, your conclusion is also decent. So this is good. So next, moving on, there is one answer by Arvind. So Arvind over here has written a good introduction. He has also gone on to talk about different types. So here you have quoted very nice points. You've spoken about urban vegetated canopies, but you need to justify that well. Fine. At least few points to tell what they are, what the purpose is, and this needs to be addressed pretty well. So next you have spoken about Miyawaki forests. You've spoken about green pavements, rainwater harvesting, green infrastructure. This is good, but here also just one suggestion. Make sure you're justifying your points effectively and also underline key terms and quote relevant examples. So overall, this is for today's particular answer. So let us look at the question for the upcoming day. So this is it for today's daily answer writing initiative. So let us take a look at the question for today. The concept of universal basic income has gained significant traction in recent years. Critically analyze the potential economic and social implications of implementing universal basic income in India. It is a 15-mark question. So my dear friends, the program which was paused for the last few days has now been resumed. So I request all aspirants to take part regularly on a daily basis. So that is it for today and have a great day. Thank you.